Right, it's Dominic from GetYourRockOut here. I'm here with Mike from Killswitch Engage. Thank you very much for sparing the time.
Oh, thank you for the interview. Absolutely, no problem.
So yeah, you're here in the UK doing this joint tour with Trivium. First of all, how did that come about?
I believe Trivium asked us if we wanted to do something out here, and we hadn't played with them very much out here. Occasional shows and festivals and stuff, so we figured it'd be a great idea, really fun for the fans. Everyone seems to really enjoy the package, so I figured we'd give it a go.
Cool. It's a good long run of dates as well.
We're only doing half of them. We've already played a lot in Europe, and so we're just doing the UK stuff. A little bit of Ireland, a little bit of England. Sorry, a little bit of Ireland, a little bit of Scotland in here.
Yeah, but even for the UK, it's kind of 7, 8 dates just on these shores, which is
cool because we really haven't done anything extensive here on the new record, so we're really excited that we could do it.
So you're obviously touring for the album to some extent. You're a year and a half into the touring cycle for that?
Let's see, we started way before the record came out. I think we started February of last year, so it's a year. It's a year right now. It seems like a lot longer than that, though. Doesn't it, Adam?
Sure does. We started beforehand and all those other things.
Oh, Alive or Just Breathing tour kind of rolled right into this thing, right?
Factory Got Punch and all the other stuff.
Oh, so when did we really start?
I don't know.
I think we started about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay. So how's the reaction been to it? In particular to the new album, how do you feel how's the reaction changed as well over that whole time from before? And
we toured here first, and it seemed like the crowds over here gravitated to it a lot, and we're doing some major sing-alongs, so it kind of ruined us for the rest of the countries, for the rest of the world for that matter, because then when we got back home it wasn't as extravagant as it is over here. But we've toured quite a lot on this record to build it back up. You know, we knew with the new old singer we may take a couple hits and have to kind of prove ourselves again, and I feel like we've done that this whole year, this whole touring cycle. And I think we're in a really good spot. It's awesome having Jesse back in the band. He's a genuine man's man, super nice guy. He's pretty much what you'd expect him to just be, super normal, easygoing dude. And it's been a little while since the band has felt this close-knit and this comfortable together. And it feels great to be able to call it a band again. You know, everyone's on the same page and stuff. But as far as the new record goes, I know I went off on a tangent. It's going really well.
Actually, I was going to ask you about Jesse coming back, because obviously it's such a big thing, and kind of I suppose the genesis of it was possibly with the Roadrunner show in New York when he came up on stage with you.
I guess that was a while beforehand. Sure. Well, we had some troubles being on the same page with Howard, and we took a couple of years off to really figure out what we needed to do and how we needed to get the ship running again. And in those 2 years, we had started talking to Jesse about possibly just doing an Alive or Just Breathing tour, just getting the band back on the road again and trying to limp through some stuff and seeing how it would work. He had done the last 4 shows of pretty much our first headliner tour ever, which was like 4 years ago in the U.S. I don't know why we never really did a major market U.S. tour, but Howard had to leave that tour 2 or 3 days in, and Phil from All That Remains took over. So as an added bonus, when we got to New York and the East Coast and stuff like that, we put Jesse into the mix. He did some songs from Alive or Just Breathing, and we just had an ongoing conversation of, wow, it would be really fun to just take these songs back out on the road. I think we're coming up on an anniversary, so maybe it would be the most appropriate time to do it. And that's what ended up happening. We really talked about doing that tour and stuff like that, and then saying, oh, well, it would be nice to write another record like that maybe in the future. But when it came down to getting new singers and stuff like that, our management really wanted us to try everybody we possibly could. So we had sent some stuff out on the internet, like try it out for the band, like don't leave any stone unturned, which is fine. It takes a little longer that way, but maybe you'll pick the best guy for the job. So we had auditions in New York, and we had one after the other, all day long for about 11 till 7 or 8 at night. We would have a new guy every 15 minutes who would play the same 2 or 3 songs and see how they performed. We were videotaping it and stuff like that so we could review it later. And around 5 o'clock, after doing it all day long, we were so exhausted. The beer and the pizza showed up, and we started drinking and eating, and no one wanted to get back up on the little tiny stage in this practice area and get to work again. And then Jesse walked in the room, started talking, and we were drinking beer together and eating pizza. And finally, it was time to get back up, and reluctantly got back up to play, and proceeded to play 16 songs in a row because it felt so good. It felt right. Everyone was smiling, looking at each other like, wow, this is the way the band needs to feel. And most of those were Howard songs. Jesse was just kind of proving himself that he could take those under his wing and make them his own. That was kind of one of the things that was in the back of our mind. Howard era stuff is really some of our more known and more single-worthy recordings. So it's a major thing that we perform those for the fans. We don't want to gyp anybody. And he did it. He pulled it off, and he pulled it off with his own style, rather than most of the people that came to try out that were just carbon copies. And that impressed us even more, that it was him doing it and not him pretending to be somebody else. So it was pretty easy to figure out who needed to be the singer of the band.
It's quite nice when it just falls into place like that.
It was cool, but I mean, it was a lot of touch and go for those couple of years that we had off. I had started a new band called Death Ray Vision with my old friend Brian Fair from Shadows Fall. We were in a band called Overcast together. And I was just ready to just upset, just wanted to be on the road, just wanted to play music. So we started that band just so we could play in that 2 years that I had off. I don't know, it's not an ego thing, it's just there's a release of energy. When you're on stage, whether it's the 2 people or 100,000, all your anxiety goes away. And it's almost like going to therapy or something like that.
Don't want to go over kind of the reasons why Howard left, but do you think the whole way it transpired in the media and how people found out, do you feel that could have been handled better?
I'm not sure what the media knows. I'm not sure how it was handled either. We kept our mouths shut. We don't talk crap on anybody. We love the guy. We want all the best for him. So there's no hard feelings. Things don't work out. Move on. We, like I said, didn't talk about it, didn't want to talk about it. It's a private issue that if he wants to discuss, then we'll leave it at that. But could it be handled better? I don't know. It's sensitive.
Yeah.
Sometimes those sensitive things, there could be many ways to handle it or no ways to handle it. And we just felt like we would back off the subject.
Because with you not saying anything, suddenly all these conflicting stories emerged. There were so many different variations that no one knew what to believe.
Right.
So it kind of barreled and got out of control. So it's kind of.
But you didn't see us slinging mud or anything.
No, absolutely.
Sometimes
not.
band members will do.
Yeah.
They can get kind of nasty. We stay away from all that crap. That's just garbage. We just concentrated on new albums and moving forward rather than dwelling in the past. But it's cool that people are talking about you no matter what, right? Even if it's bad or like indifferent stories and conflicting stuff. I guess it adds to the mystery. I don't know. Sometimes it's cool when people don't know everything about you in this internet age, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, kind of around the same sort of time, you had the takeover of Roadrunner and kind of, again, more uncertainty there and so...
That was scary.
Yeah, how did that affect you? What's been the fallout of it, as far as you can see on your side?
Well, the saddest part was saying goodbye to a lot of really great friends that we had been working with for so long. I mean, they dropped from, 350 to like 5 people. Everyone we knew was suddenly gone, and it was really, really sad. But we got in touch with all our friends, made sure they were okay. invited them to do the exact same job for us later on down the road if they needed to. But that was really tough. And then it was sort of a waiting period of seeing how the dust was going to settle, if Roadrunner was just going to go away completely, or if they were going to pick up those bootstraps and kind of keep walking. And they kept walking, and everything seems stable right now, but it is a bit like walking on eggshells here and there, and especially in that time period when we were going to put out the album. We sort of just weren't sure what to do yet, so we kind of went back out on tour instead and sort of waited it out a little bit. You know, it's a touchy thing. We know many bands that released records with these sort of shuffles of power, and sometimes they fall flat, and we just didn't want to get lost in something like that.
Yeah, I can understand that. Hopefully onto slightly happier. Plans for the future, what's coming up? What's the master plan?
Man, now that you mentioned Roadrunner, those guys want us to do an album every year at this point rather than every couple of years, so we're thinking of maybe writing a new record at the end of the summer. We've been talking about it anyways. Tonight we're recording here in Brixton. I don't know if it's going to be a DVD or something. It's definitely a video shoot. They might go up on some sort of website maybe. We haven't really discussed all that yet, but I'm sure that will happen. Tons of touring still left to do, even though I felt like we've done a lot already. But back to Japan and Australia again, doing Russia and South Africa for the first time. Really excited to play for some lions and tigers and stuff. I hear that they pit really well. And we're doing Download again. I think that was announced already. Really excited to do that. We weren't sure if we wanted to. They really wanted us to do it.
Why weren't you sure?
I think we were just in the mindset that at that point of the summer we may start writing and be ready for a bit of a break. But they want us really bad.
Couldn't say no.
Couldn't say no.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you.